Herland, 1915, constitutes the second part of the Herland trilogy penned by Charlotte Perkins Gilman, yet it commonly stands alone as a novel. Gilman, an American humanist, feminist activist, and prolific writer in both fiction and non-fiction realms, is best known for her renowned work The Yellow Wallpaper, 1892, a short story vividly illustrating the rest cure of the late 1800s, a treatment widely prescribed for women's mental health issues, which Gilman herself endured. Herland tracks the journey of three men, Van, Jeff, and Terry, who stumble upon a secluded utopian nation inhabited solely by women. The narrative serves as a poignant critique of patriarchal structures, highlighting how women's potential is stifled by the oppressive constraints of patriarchy. Van Dyck Jennings, Jeff Margrave, and Terry O. Nicholson embark on a mapping expedition, prompted by reports from indigenous tribes of a nearby land solely inhabited by women. Guided to a vibrant river flowing alongside a towering cliff, the men discover a fragment of exquisitely crafted fabric, fueling their determination to return the following day. Terry, endowed with wealth, procures the necessary supplies, a boat with sealing capabilities, and a biplane for aerial reconnaissance. Conducting an initial flight to survey Herland, they observe women below gazing up in curiosity. Landing discreetly, they encounter three women, Elidor, Alima, and Celis, luring them deeper into the forest. Attempting to entice them with a necklace, Terry's gesture is met with Alima's swift defiance. Pursuing them, the men are led to a nearby settlement, where they are met by a group of mature women. Encouraged to enter a building, the men resist, prompting Terry to discharge his firearm into the sky, resulting in the women rendering them unconscious. Awakening in a confined room with an adjoining bathroom, the men's attempts to exit are met with redirection to a communal area. Seated opposite their new mentors, Summel, Zava, and Moadine, the men find themselves under the watchful eye of 5 guards each. These women, all in their middle years, earn Terry's moniker of colonels due to their stern and commanding presence. Over the course of months, the men diligently immerse themselves in learning the language of Herland while imparting English to their tutors. They are granted the liberty to explore the lush gardens and engage in physical activity within a gymnasium. Terry persuades Van and Jeff to join him in an escape attempt. Utilizing the fabric from their quarters, they fashion a makeshift rope and descend from a window to freedom. Days are spent in concealment, while nights are dedicated to navigating towards their aircraft. Yet upon reaching their destination, they discover it cunningly concealed within a bag. Elidor, Celis, and Alima intercept them, proposing a diversionary game. Frustrated, the men demand knives, met with a firm refusal from the women. Terry, advocating forceful acquisition, triggers a fleeing response from the women. Upon realizing the futility of pursuit, the men retreat to the aircraft, only to be greeted by a formidable assembly of colonels. Reluctantly, they yield and are escorted back to their confines. During a brief lunch stop en route, the men observe an exclusively female presence. Resuming their studies upon return, improved communication between the men and Herlanders facilitates a cultural exchange. The men introduce facets of external culture, unsettling their counterparts. In turn, they delve into the rich history and societal norms of Herland. Originating from a settlement of Aryan captors, the land faced upheaval through war and natural calamity, ultimately isolating it from the external world. Subjugated men staged a revolt, resulting in the demise of their oppressors, male offspring, and elderly women. Resistance from young women culminated in the establishment of a harmonious society. Over time, one woman bore 5 children, each of whom contributed to a generational expansion, fostering a thriving community. This mode of reproduction, known as parthenogenesis, facilitated the population growth. However, as numbers surged, the women discovered a means to regulate birth rates by immersing themselves in other pursuits when the urge to procreate arose. Motherhood now stands as the cornerstone of Herland's ethos, with the society dedicated to advancing social conditions for the betterment of offspring and successive generations. At the heart of their agricultural practices are fruit-bearing trees, meticulously crossbred to yield abundant produce. Forests were rejuvenated with these nourishing trees. With no natural predators, Herland's felines were selectively bred for docility and rodent control. Despite the men's attempts to uphold their sense of superiority through selective information dissemination about the United States, cracks in the facade reveal societal challenges like poverty and the epidemic of aggressive, diseased canines. Gradually integrated into broader society, the men interact with younger women and grapple with the educational emphasis cherished by Herlanders. The knowledge imparted by the men to their tutors permeates the populace, leading to probing inquiries that often stump the male visitors. Navigating social dynamics proves challenging for Terry, whose assertive sexuality clashes with Herland's ethos, and Jeff, whose adoration of women often leads to inadvertent offense. In contrast, Van effortlessly engages with the Herlanders. Jeff and Silas forge a stable romantic bond, while Terry and Alima engage in a more casual liaison. Van's camaraderie with Elidor blossoms into a profound romantic connection. The men introduce the concept of marriage to the women, leading to the union of the three couples in a solemn ceremony within a temple. While Jeff and Silas find contentment in their partnership, both Van and Terry struggle with the absence of sexual intimacy. Elidor, guided by her belief that sex should solely serve procreation, resists Van's desires for a more passionate connection. Despite his yearning for a different dynamic, Van learns to respect Elidor's convictions, prioritizing their relationship on her terms. Terry's aggressive demeanor unsettles Alima, prompting her to avoid solitary encounters with him. Ignoring her discomfort, Terry attempts to assault her one fateful night, but swift intervention from fellow Herlanders results in his apprehension. Subsequently imprisoned, a council decrees Terry's expulsion from Herland. Van and Elidor, bound by their association with Terry, are also slated for departure. Amid preparations for their exit, the Herlanders implore Van and Terry to maintain secrecy regarding Herland. Despite the men's prior manipulation of information, the Herlanders discern the precarious nature of the outside world. While Van readily agrees to uphold their request, Terry initially balks, only relenting when faced with the prospect of lifelong incarceration in Herland. Departing for the United States, Van, Elidor, and Terry embark on a journey fraught with uncertainty, leaving behind the utopian sanctuary of Herland. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.